If you really want to reverse your hair loss or to completely restore your high school hairline, you have to start with the mechanical physical changes. Nothing more, nothing less. I am AQBS, and this is Back to the Barber. If this is your first time on the channel, I help men get their high school hairline back naturally no matter the scale of loss. So whether you are here to maximize, maintain, or manufacture new hair, the algorithm has led you to the right place. Why so? Because I am one of the few well-documented cases of a person reversing being totally bald for over a decade using simple tools and natty foods. I basically cure balding in the kitchen, and I'm going to teach you how to do the same thing. Today's primary topic: the physical or mechanical changes, seconded by other relevant information and commentaries. So let's get started. The overall theme should be, generally speaking, to stimulate hair growth because your follicles are struggling with creating hair. Now, it's not false, but it's only, in my humble opinion, 1/4 of the story. Now, for somebody with an omega scalp, man or woman, that does not have any type of hair loss, and all they want to do is create more hair, and I call that to maintain or to maximize, then, of course, all they have to do is stimulate more growth. But see, Back to the Barber is about individuals who have lost their hair, who are losing their hair, who's receding, thinning, balding, all the way to the point where you could be Norwood 7 like myself when you have literally no hair on the top. Now, when it comes to reversing that type of balding, you can't really think about stimulation too much. Now, obviously it's a part of it, but what's way more important that I suggest to start with, rather you see your hairline move back, if you see that your neckline moves back because hair loss starts there too, if you see that the hair in your crown is thinning, all these things are just diffusion all around. My first thought, now that I know kind of what I'm doing, is I'd say this: start with the mechanical physical changes of the scalp. What do I mean by that? Now, we can deal with the immune system trigger. What do I call, what is that about? Well, the clue is every hair loss is always due to some sort of infection and inflammation, something going on with the skin that tells the body to send immune cells there in order to fix it. And hair loss seems to be in that same battleground per se. Okay, now this is for women, men, and even animals. Okay, therefore hair loss can be viewed as a side effect of some sort of problem with immunity. Okay, now this problem can come from the inside or the outside, but the truth of the matter is, regardless if it's a protein or a real pathogen or something you ate or some sort of off balance, a lot of times this immune trigger will start the process of hair loss. Now, obviously that is this inception point, but a lot of times you don't even know what created that problem. And if you start losing hair at 18 and you don't really notice until you're 24, then of course it's kind of hard to figure that trigger out, right? You can though. However, the mechanical physical changes not only lock you into this hair loss pattern that keeps getting worse, it locks you out of reversing it naturally or even using human ingenuity products or lab-based solutions. So what do I mean by mechanical physical changes? DHT strips the fat. And what I mean by fat is subcutaneous, underneath the dermis fat that the follicles use for minerals, vitamins, and their sustenance. When that is stripped away, Not only the environment is a more harder environment on the follicle because there is no springiness to it, there's no suppleness to it. It's remove the nutrients and vitamins that it uses. I call follicles like straws, right? Because instead of thinking of it as having some sort of blood vessel connected to it, it is far better to think of it as having a straw at the end of the follicle, and it extracts these vitamins and minerals from your actual dermis, and it will be the hypodermis area, where in that area on diagrams you will notice that it has small vessels and arteries, and it also has what we would call subcutaneous fat. DHT is attracted to the inflammation, but what happens is when it's in that area, the fat comes off. That's a problem because that means starvation. And two, now you have a hardened scalp, which is what they call like hardened tissue. So you go from a supple, soft tissue that's able to grow hair to something now that is fibrotic. And what do I mean by fibrotic? The more that you have this immune problem, the more that your scalp is under this war between DHT, whatever is the immune trigger, and the follicle's immune system and immune privilege, the body automatically begins to create hardened tissue in the scalp in order to deal with the inflammation. It just makes the scalp stronger because it feels like there's too much going on in the scalp. I have to build up these collagen bricks, pretty much concrete, right? So now you have no circulation, no minerals and vitamins. You have a flattened scalp because subcutaneous fat is now gone, and now you have this hardened type of collagen and calcium buildup that really takes the follicles down. This is why the mechanical physical changes are most important, because why? If you were to get rid of calcification and fibrosis, the hardened sebum, the hardened cholesterol, everything that once was flowing as a liquid, flowing in and out the scalp, such as a river, is now hardened, sandy, crystallization, and gritty. What that does is that creates the scalp environment that you see on bald men, where it's shiny like a marble. And actually, to be more specific, it is more or less like an eggshell, right? You got to break through that eggshell in order to really begin to reverse hair loss. And why so? This is the primary reason. If you have an eggshell around your head, how do you get anything such as rosemary, coconut oil, jojoba oil, grapeseed oil inside of the scalp to the dermal papilla level? As a matter of fact, how does anything like minoxidil and the topical solutions, these lab-based solutions, really get to the area it needs to? It doesn't. The skin already stops a lot of absorption just naturally. Therefore, the calcification and the fibrosis and this type of calcium ring around your head really takes out. So now you give, 100 points of some sort of stimulant, and what actually makes it to the dermal papilla? 10%. Okay. Start with the mechanical physical. And how do you do that? The derma roller can break up calcification, fibrosis, and also the crystallization. The derma stamp can break up fibrosis. Cupping, electric cupping is what I use, really gets down to the hypodermis area when it comes to pulling those layers apart and rebuilding real collagen, not the immune system collagen that is hard as a brick, that's really not meant for hair. It's really meant to sustain your health. Okay, these mechanical physical changes have to be dealt with so that you can actually use minoxidil, finasteride, and things that will reverse your hair loss. My hair loss is reversing because I spent a great deal of time on trying to fix the actual scalp itself as if it is scalp therapy. So that's my video for today. Hopefully something here has helped you to halt hair loss and or restore it. If so, hit the like or subscribe. If not, give another video a chance. I am pretty sure you'll find something interesting, but if I can do it, you all can do it too. Let's get you back to the barber.